Jez.
And I'm Cal.
Together we are SheKan.
And this is Spill the Prosecco.
Welcome back.
Season 2.
Spill
The Prosecco.
this time with fancy cards.
Yeah. Look at that. We've actually got really fancy. So, well, we better take a
cheers.
first cheers. Can't reach each other.
Can't reach, too far away. That's okay.
Welcome back. We are...
Thanks to absolutely no one for sponsoring us. We were like, where's those tags for the sponsors?
We didn't get enough tags, so feel free to reach out to your favourite Prosecco label and give us a shout out so we can get a sponsor.
100%.
It has been we've had a little break.
Had a little break, but it's nice to be back here in this fabulous room at the Dream House.
It is.
Just a super cute shout out to everyone in our last season that had mentioned how nice our makeup looked. It's not our ability to put makeup on. It's the amazing lighting in this room.
It's 100% the lighting, which we'll probably get some behind the scenes as well.
Will. Yeah.
Interestingly, we want to be like completely open and transparent. So we are actually recording today, which is the 19th of March, which means that episode 6 of season 1 drops this afternoon.
Yeah, tonight.
At 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So 5 p.m. your time is 4 p.m. our time here.
Yes, yep.
And so we'll be
recording.
We will still be recording season 2 here at the Dream House. And the reason that there has been a little break between season 1 and season 2 is not because season 2 won't be ready. It's because we need time to get to season 3 because we both have quite a full schedule coming up.
I
So
know.
let's have a chat about the full schedule.
Well, I'm heading to Europe. I'm absolutely heading to Europe.
Because as we're recording this, who knows what the world will look like when this episode is launched. But right now there is a war and you're still going.
Apparently.
We're not going to get into war conversation.
I'm going. So of course we've got that, which will be unplugged. Just life, Easter, school holidays for the kids. We're rolling into Easter. Then you're going to Europe. You land back in Australia, maybe home for a week. Yeah.
We are then off to Kin, which is our mother-daughter retreat in Bali. So when you're listening to this, that will have already happened. Mm-hmm. Once Kin finishes, we have a 2 or 3 day window and then we start recharge in Bali. Then we land back in Australia and 2 weeks later I'm having surgery. So we'll talk about that a little bit more.
I think we will. And then not long after that, we'll be heading off for Revive, our second Revive.
Yes. And so we may as well say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thanks for joining us.
2026 was a blast.
Ooh, she flew.
We are having an intentional gap between seasons to ensure that we have time to record season 3 without there being too much of a...
I think I really love that though. I love that about the seasons. You know, I know when I've got like a favourite little guilty pleasure Netflix series or something, I can't wait for the season launch to come out and, the previously on. So, that's kind of how I feel about Spill. It's just been, again, we've spoken about it numerous times, but people have just loved it.
Yes.
And season 2 will look similar. Season 3 will look nothing like it.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that we're really excited about is as of today, which is the 19th of March, we are pushing towards our first 1,000 downloads on Spotify, which is really exciting. We have shared previously that we have never tracked numbers. We've never been good at numbers. We are changing that now that we've been 10 years in business. And we're starting with the podcast numbers. Yeah. That is something that we're really excited about. So thank you if you have listened to one or all. But if you haven't listened to them all, go back, binge listen and catch up because season 1 and season 2 are absolutely the SheKan story up until this point in time. So
yeah. So where we left you off, we actually put in that very last call that we did to say that we're putting a bow on it. We are shutting it down. So that is where we left you.
And I'm going to actually say something. You asked me in that final episode, do you remember where we did that live stream? And I got it wrong. I actually thought we were in the boardroom of our office, but we weren't. We were at my kitchen table at Bank Street.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I watched the live stream I was like, no, we must have done a live stream in the boardroom about the events that were changing due to the interruption.
Yeah, but because I could remember walking up the stairs to do it. Like it felt like a really, somber thing that we were going to be doing. And yeah, I just, I didn't remember Bank Street, but I remembered stairs, which was weird, which was why I was trying to work out maybe my brain's gone.
Yeah, so I definitely got that wrong, but I'm sure the audio is not flash, but it was a live stream that happened just over 5 years ago now. So we thought that was a really valuable thing to add to that final podcast.
Yeah, and it's proof, in the live stream we say, we're still good, we're still friends. So that's true.
Yeah. Here we are 5 years on.
It was good for me to re-listen to it. I actually couldn't remember what we said that, that was such a time. But I was like, I think we articulated it pretty well, exactly why.
Yeah.
And but I guess what we want to lean into with this season is from what happened after that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the main pour today is probably to give a little bit of context of, from that moment in time, which was February 2021, what essentially transpired and, what was it that we needed to do after making that announcement. And so I think the first thing that is something we want to share is that we had sold out events still to run, even though we'd made the decision that we were closing the company. And it was such a difficult time for so many people, particularly people that ran events, ran venues. I mean, it was a shit show for everyone. But we had events that we'd get a new date, we'd be planning to run that event, and then there'd be another lockdown in Victoria. We would then have to change that event. And that was continuous.
That was exhausting.
It was very exhausting.
It was, and they'd talk about numbers and 1.5 distance and masks and all, like it was just the rules kept changing and it was exhausting, but we had this duty of care to clients that had invested and, we knew how much we were struggling in that time. We could only imagine what they were going through as well. And, this event was what they were hanging on to for that connection, that growth, how do I get through this next bit? And we couldn't get it off the ground.
No, and I think there was such excitement every time we got to confirm a date and a venue and here we go, like it's going ahead, and then it would be another lockdown. And I think that continuous up and down roller coaster, there was a saying that I can remember using a lot back then, which was it was around like living in hope, but like expecting the worst. And it was like every time we got a new date, it would be like, yes, this is it. And you wanted to live with hope. But in the background, there was that dread of like the chances of this happening is slim.
Yeah.
And it was a really difficult time to live through. And I know that, it was different for everyone and you could probably be sitting there listening and saying, first world problems.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking about it from a business perspective and a live events business, and we're not talking about the true emotional impact that it had on us behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But there was a fairly large weight to carry when, as you said before, people were relying on these events. It was going to be their outlet. It was going to be their, their little like burst of
People
and positivity and
connection.
We were probably not feeling positive, and like we were the people to deliver that at the time.
Probably needed our event.
How many times we said we've got all the tools in the toolbox, but I don't even want to open the lid.
That was so true. That's how we felt.
It was a heavy time.
So we had sold out events. We had, everything was so up in the air. You just didn't know. So we had this, and then they had this other side where we'd made the decision that we were stopping. So I guess your drive and your energy didn't take much to empty the tank and feeling like, God, is it even still worth it? Do we just put a pin in it, give everyone their money back? Where does this sit? Because that's what we were seeing businesses do everywhere. Catering businesses and, accommodation businesses. Everyone was like, oh, you get a refund or you just, because you can't come. And
that's right.
Like, God, that's going to be us. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we never stopped believing in what we were doing. And I think even more than ever, we knew that the live events and retreats business was going to be even more powerful for when people were ready to step back into the real world.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to be that source of hope, and we also wanted to be able to finish SheKan.
Absolutely.
Knowing that we were doing everything we possibly could to be in service to the women that had said yes and still deliver incredible events, keep the energy high, even though perhaps behind closed doors, the messy truth is we weren't.
Yeah. And That's probably one thing. And then our superpower, I know this has always been to adapt in the moment, and that tested every superpower we had. We were like, great, we can make chairs 1.5 apart. We can have 2 lunch breaks where half the room goes and then the other half. Like, we were constantly adapting, not our content, our event. And, that I'm grateful that we could do it. But I do remember, just in my own thoughts thinking, God, at what cost is this? This is losing the feel of exactly how our events are supposed to feel, and that frustration of, we're getting it done, but it's not how we would normally do it, and I don't know if we're getting the same result. But that was, just feeling that I hated it.
Yes, and there is so much connection that happens at our events, and through that, the women hug and high five.
Oh, gosh. Do you remember the dots that you had to wear if you wanted a hug or if you didn't want a hug? And some people were like, no hug. Was it dots? Was stickers on their name tags?
I think we had lanyards and they had a sticker depending on. And I mean.
I'm laughing now.
And I mean.
But I wasn't at the time.
I also want to share is that I think we did mention this in season 1. That period of time was definitely the Great Awakening for you and I.
Oh, my gosh.
So there was an element of this is all absolute horse shit. Like, who on earth said 1 metre, 30 centimetres is the germs can't travel?
See, we're laughing now.
So, yes, we were doing the right thing because we also didn't want to get put in jail because that was a reality in Victoria back then. If you broke the rules, probably still the reality in Australia. And so there was an element of us doing the right thing, but behind closed doors saying this is utter garbage.
Yeah. And then, God forbid, a poor client coughed in our room. Like that, and I was like, "Ha!" It was a cough. Like it was more comfortable to fart in the room than
mass evacuation if you sneezed.
Again, we're laughing now, but like even that, like the second someone coughed in the room, like, we would even be like, oh God, now we're going to be known as the COVID party.
Yeah, absolutely. And and you were right in saying before that we were actually needing to change the event, not the content. And we really did question whether or not it was landing because we felt like it was so different to how we wanted to run things.
And again, and it's which is always, you do have to be respectful. You know, again, we're jovial now, but you have to be respectful of how everyone sits in it and how everyone's feeling. And so you didn't push the envelope too much, where traditionally at events we would push the envelope, but we just, it was sensitive and people were not themselves. And yeah, so everything we wanted the event to be was really hard to make it just because of what was going on.
Yeah. And I think when we got to the 4-day event that we had to run, there was a bit of saving grace for us in that all of those clients were clients.
Absolutely.
They'd been to a 2-day at some point. You know, they had been to a 3-hour workshop. They'd probably been to multiple events and they really knew us, trusted us, and there was less kind of needing to, like, it was a little bit more relaxed because
I agree.
we had that connection with them already.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it just the people that chose to come, because there were people that chose not to.
Absolutely.
The people that chose to come were just in it for that connection that, you know, I just need to be around some humans. Let's just all unpack it. And yeah, it was perfect for what it was, even if it's in its imperfections.
Yeah. So what would be one of the biggest things that you learned from that time?
Oh, gosh, where do I start? I mean, everyone had such a significantly different experience. And for my biggest lesson was that I'm certainly not a homeschool mum. That was, you know, we went from doing everything we were told to doing absolutely nothing we were told. I think just my biggest lesson is it doesn't matter what happens in the world. People always need humans.
Yes.
People need people. And, you know, I remember in it, I remember when we were right in it, having conversations with you, with Joey, about one day we'll look back on this and talk about, remember, you hear people talk about, you know, they were around the Holocaust, they were around the Great Depression. We're going to be those people that say we were there during the pandemic. And
or the plandemic.
The pandemic. And you know what though? And then just because we don't hide the way we feel about it, when I, you know, say we start watching Grey's Anatomy or we start watching a show and they do the COVID episodes, I just had to just not watch them.
Yeah.
I absolutely will give this no airtime.
Yeah.
Just fast forwarded the episodes because it was just like, not doing that again.
That's so interesting.
Because you're looking at it after you've been through it. Yeah.
And so this morning we were thinking about what are some of the questions that we might like ask each other on these episodes for season 2. And one of them that we didn't put in was, what is one thing that you're majorly triggered by? And I was like, oh, I don't know what that would be. That 100%, it's that.
Yeah.
It is masks and those episodes that take you back to, you know, whatever they had to do to make the episode work for COVID.
Yeah, and you were right in your Reddington phase not long ago, and Blacklist, and remember they did that weird cartoony episodes, and I remember
like,
watching it after you, and I was like, oh my God, I fast forwarded that, and you were like, oh mate, I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So clearly I didn't know the answer to that question until just then, but I think it's that for me. That's what that I will still be triggered by some of the stuff. And what I've learned is that I'm always a person that needs to be, we've talked about human design. I love my space, but I do love anything where it's still human connection.
Yeah, and that's really interesting because my answer to that, which I didn't know would be the answer until you started talking, and I was like, if I knew human design like I know it now, back then, it would have made more sense why I struggled so much being at home with family, as in Squidgy and the girls, all of the time.
Yeah.
And it was because my second line, the hermit in me, had no time or space where I was just in my own energy.
Yeah.
And so it was really draining. And I think when you listen to other people that were like, it was amazing for me because I got to be at home and spend time with my children because they might work full time. Mine was the opposite. And then I felt like guilt and shame around not enjoying having them there all of the time.
Yeah.
And it was probably more the guilt and shame that was the hardest component.
Yeah.
Like it has the greater effect of just like, I just can't be around people all of the time, 24/7, 7 days a week for 2 years.
And you know, like, and we've talked about it. You talked about when visitors come and you've got them, you're like, love my visitors, get excited for my visitors, but happy to see them out the door as well because I need just my thing.
Yes.
And I think this is like imagine if we did know human design back then. It would have been a game changer. You would have been like, this is why your child's doing this. This is why your child's doing that. This is why you're like this. And
and I ended up sending Squidgy to the office and saying you just need to go and work there. But I can remember on weekends I'd say, I need to go to the office to do work. And I 100% didn't, but I needed to go to the office to just, well, a lot of the time
What did you do?
A lot of the time I went there and cried.
Yeah.
I was just so, and I think the challenge for me was also the Great Awakening. So I was like, there are people telling me what I can and can't do that I absolutely do not respect and I do not agree with, and this is all frog shit. Mm-hmm. And it was just so, and I, you know, like it really did just accumulate. And so it was a lot and I would just go there to decompress.
Yeah, hence the reason we're triggered by a Grey's Anatomy episode.
I haven't watched it, but I got triggered by Reddington, which is Blacklist.
But I think that's one thing, you know, that I've learned about myself. I'm just, that would be mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's always self-learning.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, there is always self-learning. And I think
there's always self-learning for us, but I still feel like I come across a lot of humans in my world that just have the inability to self-learn and self-reflect and take self-responsibility.
I was going to say that word, responsibility.
And I don't know, still to this day, when I meet humans like that, I'm baffled that they can get to a certain stage in their life and they don't have that skill or ability or
one of the things
awareness
that I do first is that we were just talking about this off camera, is if I have a feeling about someone and we will talk more about that gut feeling, I always go to first, is there something in that person that is being reflected back to me that I perhaps don't like about myself or is, you know, activating or triggering me in some way? I am not a person that goes directly to, I don't like that person.
100%. Remember we used to share stories about this, that there were people and like we would used to just check each other, see if it still worked. We'd say their name and to see if it would cause a reaction. And we would be like, I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to see what I'm reflecting off. I'm trying to see what it is about me that reflects back. And sometimes I just couldn't get it. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'm like, I'm no saint. I'm not saying, oh, yes, it's always me. No, there's some people that just shit me off. But to act like there was, you know, I'm not talking we took a 3-minute chat about it. We held
Unpacked
conversations in depth and unpacked it. And to know people that would just never, ever have, that would not even enter their realm of thinking blows my mind. Yeah.
And I think we've moved to a point now where they didn't consume us. It wasn't like we couldn't not focus on them. It was just that if it came up, you'd be like, why is it that person really grates my gears? Like, you know, it's not that it was all consuming, but we would always self-reflect to see if there was something there that we could learn. And then in the end, we're just like, oh, well, clearly not my person. So moving on. But yeah, lots of learning from that period of time. All right. The spill.
Oh my gosh. Oh, guilty pleasures. Have you got one at the moment?
Do you have one?
I don't have a guilty pleasure because it's not guilty. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm loving listening to audiobooks, but I'm most attracted to audiobooks where the author is the reader, like the author narrates it.
100%.
I feel so much more connected to it. Like, so I love reading the book, but then I actually love following up and listening to it audio style with the narrator. And, you know, we spoke about my last little love passion, which was Spare by Prince Harry, which let's just say.
Put my hand up. I've crumbled. And I'm listening. And I've got so much to say on this.
I know.
It is fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
He's very easy to listen to. Wow, don't I sound ochre after you listen to someone like him.
So polished.
So polished.
Oh my God.
Really interesting, but what a incredibly sad.
I know.
Like, this could be an entire season of the podcast.
I was just about to say the fact that you've even listened and continued to listen, but you're like, Shares, I'm enjoying it.
For a group of human beings to put themselves on such a pedestal that he had never hugged his grandmother.
I know.
Like, who the fuck do you think you are, royal or not?
Mate,
there's so much to be said.
Because we love humans and we're obsessed with everything human. I think that's why I fell in love with him. Like, this can't be real, but I'm so sad.
And like, when he goes to war and he gets the 30 minutes on the sat phone and his dad goes, I'd prefer a letter.
I know.
I'm like, and you're the fucking king.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why people get assassinated.
Hug a human. Yeah, so I love that.
Yeah.
I love that you're actually, but there's actually not much royal stuff in it, which is why.
No, but you listen to elements and it just is quite shocking.
But it makes sense when people become so frustrated with that whole organisation. Yeah.
Well, which is exactly what it is, an organisation.
So, but the latest one I've been listening to is Michael J. Fox's, and I only have just started it, and it's called Always Looking Up, and it's about his journey with Parkinson's, and it's fabulous. It is so good. I've only just started it, but yeah, I'm right into that at the moment. It's only mind you, Spare I listen to on 1.5 because they're quite polished and you can speed them up a little bit. American accent,
you got to
had to slow him down. Yeah.
0.9.
Which actually, just this has got nothing to do with anything, but I remember the first episode of Spill. I rang you and said, I think we're on 1.5, and you were like, no, that's just how we talk.
And I'm not going to lie, season 1, when it was first launched, episode 1, season 1, we couldn't work out why the intro was all muffled and it sounded like it was in the toilet. Well, that's because it was so loud that Spotify reduced it. Anyway, we fixed it, but geez, that took me some time to work out.
Guilty pleasure or
not necessarily a guilty
obsession.
pleasure, but it's something that I've done for the first time, which was last week. I went and played pickleball.
Did you?
I did. I
didn't know this.
I got invited by Shani, which is one of Anna's friends from the Dream House, who I know, and she said, would you like to play? And I was like, absolutely. We were going to play paddle, but paddle here you have to book. So
okay.
You have to be on it because
paddle's what
we played in Bali.
Yeah.
And Shani had played paddle in Bali, same place.
Okay.
And so she had a group.
You were actually really good at it.
Well, she had a group of friends that were playing pickle and she said, would you like to come? And I was like, absolutely. And it was one of those things that I said yes to. And it was 5 p.m. on a Wednesday. And I was like, I really actually don't have time. How often do women say that? I don't have time. And there was going to be 9 of us. And so that's 2 courts, doubles. There'd be 1 spare. And then someone pulled out. And I was like, well, I can't be the next person to pull out because then there's only 7 and then we're short. So I was like, well, just get your shit together. I'm going. I went. I freaking loved it.
Oh, that's so good.
It was so much fun. Quite a lot of rules that you've got to get your head around of how it's
something about a kitchen.
There's the kitchen and you can't you've got to let it bounce if you're in the kitchen. You can't do a volley. And anyway, so it was so much fun. I absolutely loved it. And
how long does a game go for?
So it's up to 11, but you only get a point if you win the serve. So it's a bit sort of like volleyball, like scoring.
Okay.
take it in turns.
So you don't know how long you're going to go for?
No. It's basically like could be, if it's 10, 11 and you've had lots of rallies, it could be quite a long time. Anyway, I played tennis as a kid. I am relatively sporty. I'm shit at golf, but if you call that a sport. No, jokes, golf people, jokes. Don't come at us, Maria and Fiona. But I really, really enjoyed it. It was really funny. One of the girls goes, I think she was joking. She was like, "Oh, are you a pro?" And I said, "Oh, this is the first time I played." And she goes, "You're kidding."
No, you do that though. That is you. That is sports.
You. Yeah. Anyway, I really loved it, and I'm going to continue to play. I couldn't go this week, but yeah, it was super fun.
This has nothing to do with this, but I just had this little vision of, remember we were in the Hunter Valley and we played a volleyball game, and do you remember when we took Squidgy? And he was like diving and sliding and you were like, there is good pants.
We were dressed up as the mafia and he had his good suit pants on, and it was a gravelly, not like a sandy sort of court.
It wasn't a nice, fancy, beautiful one.
And he was doing skids to
to win.
We won.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Behind the glass.
Oh, okay.
What's happening? Well, I know what's happening for you. It's exciting.
Well, yeah,
I
can't wait. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually really excited. I mean, I'm going to see Paris, which I have never seen before, so I'm really excited about that. Amalfi Coast, which I've never done, and it's been on the wish list, and Spain. I've never been to Spain. So doing that, going back to Venice because I fell in love with Venice. Can't wait. And going to spend more time with our Italian rellos, which is always cup fill. I'm obsessed. So, yeah, that's probably my world right now.
Yeah.
But then I'm so excited to get back and go to Bali, and our girls are going to be there. I had beautiful chats with both your girls this morning about how excited they are, and they're old hat Bali. They know exactly what they're doing. So,
yeah.
It's going to be so great to have our girls at an event, participating in an event, leading parts in an event. That's new for us too. So that's something really to look forward to.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that this episode will drop and it will be done.
Yeah.
We
get on with like little shitheads. They made us look bad.
We'll be literally, we will have booked Kin 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah,
book
it's crazy.
Spot.
Yes.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. We were already going to say it was amazing. We do have an incredible agenda for it.
What about you, babe?
Probably some really exciting travel. Obviously, Bali, super exciting. I'm not going to Europe as much as I would love to, but we're going away in the caravan.
Yeah, awesome.
Which will be fantastic because I'm feeling like I just need that.
Yeah.
The caravan for me is that holiday where I have no guilt around sitting and reading.
Yeah.
And I will, in a week I could read, 3 or 4 books. So hopefully the weather is good. I mean, the weather is weather. I know you can't do anything about it, but I do love a good read in the sun. And then down to Victoria.
Yeah.
Catch up with you guys. We've got a wedding, and then it'll be my birthday weekend down there. Then back, and then literally a few weeks after that, we're off to Bali.
Yeah, amazing.
I'm so excited. So yeah, that's the
and something we haven't done is my husband's been working. Joey's been working away in Cairns, and this weekend he's actually going to fly to Gold Coast, and we're going to get to spend the weekend with you guys.
Tomorrow.
Which he's been working in Cairns for 12 months, and I cannot believe it's taken this long to coordinate a catch up, but. I feel like I've got a mini family holiday happening just now because of that too. So
and we're going to Outback Spectacular, which I've done twice. You've done once. Joey's not done. Squidgy's done once. My girls have done once.
I cried do you remember how much I cried? I cried. I love all of those kinds of experiences. Like
I just love being experienced.
Me too. I'm a huge fan of anything like that. The same time we did that, last time we did Dracula's, which is I'm just a huge fan of. It's such a vibe, so much fun. So, yeah.
And the incredible, not sponsored, but if Outback Spectacular would like to sponsor us, more than open to it. But honestly, it's a 3-course meal, beer, wine and soft drink, and the show, not a bad seat in the house. Like you cannot There could be nowhere where you wouldn't be able to see.
Live music and drinks at the start.
Is it $99 a ticket or 100?
Yeah, something. Like it's not. It's definitely not over 100, but it's so fun. And
you've got the big barn, like where you go and the bar and music, and if you want a photo with the Kelpie dog and the horses, you can. It's a vibe. I love it.
And the horses are so clever. Like they're so clever.
It's a beautiful show. So if you're on the Gold Coast, go and see it. All right. Our final signature question. What would you tell yourself 5 years ago today? And if we wind the clock back, that would have been, we would have just made the live call of we're closing SheKan.
Yeah. What would you tell yourself?
That's a really there's a lot, because I look at it from the SheKan element and say it's all going to work out perfectly. I also look at it from the turmoil that I was feeling because of the interruption and the shit show.
Yeah, valid.
Maybe it'll all work out better than you could ever expect.
And it's
nothing
funny.
will ever be the same again.
No, I this question has always, this future, what would you tell your future self, letter to your future self, it's always been something that we've actually actively done in events. But I think what I've come to realise now is I wouldn't tell them anything, because everything is always perfect. We wouldn't have got to where we are now without it.
Well, nothing ever happens for no reason. If it wasn't meant to happen, it wouldn't have happened, because it would have happened another way.
It's such a fascinating question, and I think it's because everything is always perfect. And I know that sounds really woo, but even the toughest, shittest, most fucked up things that we've gone through in our lives, or even that we're going through right now, is literally happening to give you something else at the other end of it.
It's happening for you, not to you.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's always the shittest advice you can give someone when they're going through something tough.
I don't want that advice.
It is that, it is happening for you, not to you, and you will get through it. And once you get out the other side, it will all make sense. But when you're in it, you don't want to hear that.
Yeah. No. And I guess the one thing I would tell that person 5 years ago is you made the right decision to leave it before you fell out of love with it.
Yes.
Because it's why we can do what we do now.
Absolutely.
If someone had said to you, what would you tell your alabaster self? You'd be like, burn it to the ground.
Close that door and never look back.
So I guess that would be it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good decision on leaving it before you fell out of love with it.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway,
last sip. Well, we're both empty. But we are episode 2. We're going to go and kind of unpack the final events.
Yeah, which will be really good fun to chat about. But thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed this one. Bye.
We'll see you soon. Bye.